Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I'm your host, Justin D. Morgan. And yes, I am back in good old Virginia, back in the Concrete Subterrain, because I don't have any of those fancy schmancy digital basements or digital attics. But I do have a fancy schmancy dinosaur. So say hi, Roar. He's feeling a bit left out the past couple weeks. And let's see here who we have in the chat. We have Kooky Fox. Welcome, Kooky Fox. We have Hardware Hacker. Hardware Hacker says, hey, Justin, long time no see. Welcome, Hardware Hacker. Yeah, exactly. We have CSU, or CDI. Hi, CDI. We have Garth Beagle. Hi, Garth. Now I'm going to work my way backwards, hopefully. We have Rudy's Retro Intel. Hi, Rudy. We have SadMac356. Hi, SadMac. We have Retro Tech Chris. Long time no see, Chris. Welcome. We have I8386SX. Hi, Jesse. Long time no see. We have, let's see here, Francois. Hi, Francois. Francois must sleep. We'll watch tomorrow. All right, well, when you watch, Francois, greetings. Let's see here. We have us. CMD Big Mike. Hi, Big Mike. And anyone else that I've missed? We have Retro Fox. Hi, Retro Fox. And let's see here. Go back to the bottoms. And I believe I've said... Oh, we have Lazy Bite Boy. It was good to meet you at VCF East. Welcome. And we have the artist formerly known as Gut Bomb. We have Jason. Hi, Jason. Jason has decided that he will be referring to himself no longer as Gut Bomb, but as Jason. But his productions are still Gut Bomb Industries, so we will still get the name. It's just, yes. All right, and it was good meeting everyone at VCF East. I do apologize to anyone I didn't get to say goodbye to on Sunday, because the event just ended due to circumstances outside of everyone's control. Because, yes, you might have seen it in the Discords or the Twitters, or even some tech news started to pick it up, but someone called in a threat, and the police had to evacuate the building and search all the buildings with search dogs, so, yeah. So I apologize, but when the police tell you to first evacuate the building and then ask everyone to please go to your cars, well, that kind of puts a damper on the mood, and yeah, wasn't able to go say bye to a lot of people, so. But yes, that would be my one regret, is that no chance to say goodbye. Fortunately, everyone was safe. I presume the police deemed it not credible, possibly from the get-go, but they still have to do their searches and everything. And that's about all I know. I'm not going to speculate as to their motive or anything, and quite honestly, I'm, not going to give that person any more fame. So what was that? They got their 30 seconds of fame, and that's probably 35 more seconds than they deserved. So anyways, all right, so there you go. But yeah, and unfortunately it happened during the YouTubers panel, which I would like to give a big shout out to Sean Mouseseed. You know him as Action Retro. He did an excellent job as the moderator for the YouTuber panel. And I forget the YouTubers that were there. I'm sure I'll miss someone if I tried, but that was a great panel up until it ended abruptly. But yeah, I would like to say Action Retro is a great moderator, and I hope they let him moderate future panels because he did a really good job coming up with questions and moderating it. So I presume, well, I don't know if they if VCF East will actually publish it at some point. They might, but I do know if you want to see that panel, Amiga Bill streamed it on Twitch. So, and the VOD is currently up right now, so don't go watch it now. But I think Twitch VODs are good for like 30 days. So you can go check out the YouTuber panel. And yeah, it was up till like about the hour 49 mark. It was great, and I think he still streamed for an extra 30 minutes. But yeah, all right, yeah, thank you, Hardware Hacker, for sharing the link. Go check that out later, because I don't know, given what happened, I don't know if VCF East will publish the panel. I mean, they might just cut it to where it kind of abruptly ended, but yeah, you can go see that one now. The other talks, they'll do their normal thing, but I guess because Amiga Bill was in the panel, he streamed it. But yeah, the event was a lot of fun, and we are going to go through and see what I picked up over the weekend. But there is like 2 things we need to do first. The first thing is I need to announce the new coffee goal, the tip jar. So link is in the video description. And the Retro Fox says, I'm sure they'll publish it just like you said, probably cut it where it stopped. Jesse says, I got rained out at the beach on Sunday. Ooh. Chris says, I was glad to bring home less than I brought. Well, I did bring home more than I brought, but I think Chris can probably attest. I think I did fairly well with being fairly selective with what I brought home. Because, in fact, even when I put everything I bought on top of some things I was given, it still fits in the box. Yeah, so I've got like a box with everything in it. And also, it'd probably help you to know, I think I only spent like $50. Chris says, well, except for that, quote, lovely AT&T, which has already been sent out. Yes. Chris picked up an AT&T 6300 for Montgomery Micros, I believe. Bo Holt at Montgomery Micros. So that system might show up on YouTube again at some point. Yeah, so we brought home things for Sloopy, the Chris delivery service. Yes. CDI says $50. That is good for 4 dozen Trident cards. I hate to disappoint, but I saw 0 Trident cards. I know, that was awful. And Harder Hacker says, thanks, Justin. You gave me an idea for the video I was planning. I can also show off what I got at Consignment. Yes, always popular. Yeah, the mirror drive door for $50. It was a good deal. Let's see here. So anyways, before I get sidetracked too much further, because I know you all want to get to that, when I got downstairs, I did remember that I left something on the workbench for me tonight, which means I do have to play this obligatory notice first.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our favorite segment, Wheel of Regrets. Here's your host, Justin D. Morgan.
Hey, who comes up with these titles anyway?
Yes, believe it or not, I had a regret that's been sitting on my box for like a week. And I've actually forgotten what this is. But anyways, this item comes to us from an eBay seller in California. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in California. I also, while I open this, I will apologize, Jason. I did get your box. I did put it somewhere safe. I don't know where that safe location is. So if I spot it, yes, you did send me something. So if I manage to spot the box tonight, we will open it. But because I thought I'd actually set it on my workbench. But I obviously did not. So, and honestly, I'm not sure what this is, but well, well, there you go. There's your clue. It's green and has some gold pins on it. Yeah, Jesse says, excluding free pile stuff, I nabbed 5 things for me. Hi, Mr. Tech Gadget, welcome. I think well, you'll see. So my $50, I am going to I am going to add 2 caveats. The $50 does include an item that is in my kitchen. I did not want to bring it downstairs because it's fragile. But I'll get to what it was when we get to the box of items. And the $50 I spent at VCF East does not include some items I picked up at the Habitat Restore on the way home, because that was not at VCF East. But those items are in my box as well. Ooh, got by cheap. Kooky Fox says, only a $5 game from Eli. Very nice. Socket Rich. Hi, Socket Rich. Yes, in a data voice, it is. It is green. Yes. Gutbomb says, I sent it in a box with a bunch of Ukrainian text all over it. That might help me find it. That might actually help me find it. It might also be that it fell off my bench. That might also be why I don't see it. I probably set it with the items that it goes with. But anyways. Oh, there. Ooh. Okay, that's weird. Okay, good thing I possibly immediately yanked that off my bench. There's a packing slip in the bag. That, well, it doesn't look like my address might have been visible, although obscured by some text on the plastic bag. It does look like the seller's address might have been on it, so let me open this up so that Jesse says, if we're including stuff we didn't buy at VCF East, the dollar amount is higher. Yes. Soccer Ridge says, I did not go to VCF. I shoveled a cubic yard of dirt into a planter. I can say that while we were in the Garden State, on Sunday morning, we saw this absolutely lovely garden at one of the local McDonald's. It was such a lovely garden. It was a mulch pile surrounded by rocks. What was planted in the mulch pile? Absolutely nothing. It was quite the lovely garden. Not sure what was supposed to be there, but it was a mulch pile surrounded by rocks with nothing in it. Quite the lovely garden indeed. Lazy Bite Boy says, yeah, I ended up doubling my total spent on stuff by stopping by at Kill Screen Game Store afterwards. Cookie Fox says, it was only the first stage, yeah. CDI is guessing. Jimmy Hoffa? Hardware Hacker says, the one garden in all of the Garden State. Oh, Soccer Rich says that was planner 3 of 5, each 5x2 by 5x2 feet by 17 inches. Cool. All right, and now that I've ditched the packing slip, we have a video card. And for anyone wondering why in the world I bought this video card, it's because the seller claimed it was a Trident card. However, I can neither confirm nor deny their allegations because there is absolutely no branding on this card to make me believe it's a Trident card. Gutbomb says, time to pop that heatsink off. Well, I don't want to risk ripping the chip off, so we'll just power it up instead. Chris says, Brandon Bishop was chatting this evening talking about buying an investment property in Wall. I told him we could plant a nice garden. Chris. Yeah, I interpreted Chris. So anyways, we might actually pull something out to test this and see if it is a Trident card. What's going for it is there was a 9850 or a 9850 and a 9880 Trident card or Trident chip, and I believe those are AGP. I also know that this is probably not an ATI 9800 because I think that would mean it would have an auxiliary power and a fan. Jason says, Central New Jersey is actually very lush and pretty. Ah, that probably explains why all that McDonald's got was a mulch bed. It was more East Coast Jersey. Retro Fox says, yeah, Chris, join us here. All right, so that is actually Wheel of Regrets. and Jason, if I spot your box in the basement, we'll get to it. It is here somewhere. It is not in the stack of boxes that's out of screen. Hold on, that is bugging me. All right, I know I've got it down here. I did get... Well, you know, honestly, maybe the reason I don't see it down here is maybe I did set it upstairs somewhere safe. Chris says I might pass on Camden. Oh, Hardware Hacker found a page on that card. Oh, it looks like the card is Trident 3D Homage 9850. I will... Oh, made by DFI. Okay. Huh. Okay, maybe it is a Trident card. Cool, thank you. Let's see here. All right, let's go to what I picked up on my trip. And because the items I picked up in Northern Virginia on the way home are on top of the box, we're going to start there first, and then we'll get to the consignment and vendor items. So the first item I picked up at the Habitat Restore in Chantilly, Virginia, is this lovely compact keyboard, which is actually fairly clean. It does look like it is slightly yellowed, but it doesn't look like there's Cheeto dust between the keys. Now, it is USB, and given the clear plastic trim on the top around those buttons, and the fact it's USB. I believe this keyboard went with the cases that would have had the CD holder on the front. Chris says, "Oh wow, that keyboard is both compatibility and quality." Yes. Yeah. So anyways, there we go. Compact keyboard. Anyone's curious of the model? And yes, I am talking about the Habitat for Humanity, their Restore. The one in Chantilly accepts electronics donations. So there you go, if anyone's curious the part number. The arrow key setup, yes. Lazy Bite Boy says, I like the arrow key setup. There you go. That is pretty cool. Jesse says it's probably for the Presario 5000. Yes. Cookie Fox says, yeah, those are always worth checking out. And we have Ian. Welcome. Yeah, RetroTech Chris says we're down one area Restore apparently. Yes, I know. I have shopped at the Herndon Restore. You have seen some of my purchases from the Herndon Restore on this channel. And I regret to inform you that the Herndon, Virginia Habitat Restore closed on March 14th. So, unfortunately, we'll no longer be able to shop that one. They'll probably turn it into a cigarette shop or vape shop or something silly like that. That is assuming there wasn't already one in the building to begin with. Chris will probably agree with me that that seems to be a high probability if there's not already one in the strip. Maybe we might luck out and they'll put a smoothie place in instead. All right. Oh, Chris says, wait. Well, we had a gym around the corner. They turned into an ice cream shop. Yeah. All right, and the next few items, I'm going to put them all on my bench, and we'll go through them. But so I got that keyboard, and then also, and the reason why I'm not telling you how much the keyboard was is because the clerk charged me for like everything as one price, and I thought it was quite fair for what I'd picked up, so I didn't try to rock the boat with a counteroffer. I thought it was fairly fair. But I think I picked up 6 cables. Lazy Bite Boy says, I haven't seen monster cables since mid-2000s Best Buy. Yeah, Chris says Mr. $5 wasn't working when I went to the Restore. Yep. I have to go to Saturdays for Mr. $5. Yeah. Well, it's probably good Mr. $5 wasn't working, because Mr. $5 would have probably wanted $5 for the monster cables. Anyway, so I picked up 6 cables. 2 of them are monster cables that I believe go to game consoles, and I'm not exactly sure which game consoles. So this one is a component and audio cable. Chris says, good tip. I'll go on Mondays for cables. Lazy Bite Boy says PlayStation 1 or 2. Excellent. Yeah, this cable's a monster. Look at that. Yeah, you get these game console cables now, and they're like cheap and chintzy and awful. While I don't agree with Monster Cables' marketing that their cables were superior, vintage Monster cables are superior to modern cheap cables. I think I can say that. Yeah. Yeah, these RCA connectors do have death grip. I will put it that. Yeah, I will agree with that. But anyway, so I got that. But you probably see I got another monster cable. And the thing is, I think it's also a PlayStation 1 or 2 cable, and it's an S-video cable with audio. So this one will probably work nicely for the PlayStation 1. I think for component, I think this is just a PlayStation 2 cable. I don't think the PlayStation 1 does component video. Oh, Gupum says they do also have a lifetime warranty that they still honor. Excellent, because when you hear how much I paid for everything, that'll be a steal for getting a lifetime warranty. Oh, there we go. Actually, I didn't even see it. Yeah, it's marked here on the side. For use with PlayStation 2. When I stopped at the Habitat Restore, it was really windy outside, and I was kind of concerned for wind noises. It just yeah, I walk in the Habitat Restore, and like a minute later, the wind starts blowing, and then it starts raining. So, hey, it's Jamie's Hack Shack. Howdy, folks. Howdy, Jamie. All right, so we got the 2 monster cables, and then these are some other cheaper cables. So this one is like a 3 RCA and a mono audio cable, which I bought because I kind of need a video cable that I can cut and put in a project. So this one might be a good candidate. Yeah, it's a camcorder cable, nothing special, but good for things that need you to cut ends off and go bare wire to audio and video. Yeah, Lazy Bytepo says also, I'm pretty sure the PS2 component cable won't work on the PS1. I believe you're correct, although I think the S-Video one actually might. Jesse says, yesterday was windy and awful. It was 46 and snowing in Pennsylvania. Yeah, Hardhacker got beat to the punch again. I picked up another just audio and video cable. I like this one because the video cable's actually shielded. So, just another cable of decent quality. I think... Oh. And then this cable here was still sealed in the bag. I think this is a Nintendo cable. Oh, actually, what do you know? It is a Nintendo cable. It may very well go to like the Wii or something, so I don't know if it'll work on anything older, but I did recognize the plastic connector as being Nintendo, so I figured I'd grab it. Oh, SNES or GameCube. Oh, nice. All right, so this will actually work with older consoles. Excellent. That's well worth it. And then finally, I grabbed this monster component cable. It's THX certified. I'm sure that added money to the price, but the cable's probably, yeah, it's just cables, but probably a lifetime warranty. Anyways, so for those 6 cables, 3 of which were Monster brand, and then 3 other cables here, plus that compact keyboard, I paid $11. Which, quite honestly, I figured $5 for the keyboard and $1 for each cable. I thought that was a pretty good price. Yeah, I know, $11. Or even if he charged, well, I mean, plus tax. I'm excluding tax. Because it was like, well, I was in Northern Virginia, so it was higher than the part of the state I live in. We has a similar but different connector. Whoa. Oh, we might have to check. Oh, all right. So let's see here. Gupom saying a consignment find he got by a friend who was there. He got a Sun Ultra 60. Yeah, I think I might remember seeing that. All right. Yeah, I may have to. We is different abort mission. Ooh, all right. So that may be a Wii cable. I will remember. Yeah, Chris remembers seeing the sun. Yeah, we did see the sun on Friday, I think. And part of Saturday. I didn't see the sun on Sunday, though. Ah, Gupum says the cable you have is definitely an SNES multi-out. Excellent. All right, and now we are to... yeah, Kooky Fox says Sunday was ridiculous cold. Yes, it was. which made the evacuation all the more awful. Yeah, it actually, because it was raining, as soon as we got into Chris's van, I took my hat off, and then to join Dave's stream, I had to put my hat back on. I almost didn't because my hat was wet, and I wanted to let it dry out, not on my head, but I realized that folks would be concerned for my fashion health, so I put my hat on temporarily to rejoin Dave's stream. And then I took my hat off so it could dry. So, yeah, Jamie says, sorry you all had to deal with that. Lazy Bite Boy's asking, did you see that $7,500 IMSAI setup? Yes, I did. And I kept walking. Yeah, it was right. Yeah, it was definitely raining on Sunday. All right, so let's go to the consignment and vendor pickup. So, from Eli's software, I got some controller cards and some software, and boy, did I ruin that reveal. So, oh, and I okay. So yeah, from Eli's Software Encyclopedia, was one of the vendors at the show. They've been there before, and I suspect they'll be there again. Anyways, I picked up 2 big box programs and some I/O cards. Chris says he got a bunch of network cards from them, and they all work too. Excellent. We have Callan. Hi, Callan. Yeah, you can't keep a Snooper hidden. So we have a retail box copy of Snooper. The shrink wrap is in such poor shape that I am going to go ahead and open it. Hardware Hacker says Snooper 2.0. Now, why does that look familiar? I don't know. Maybe because, why buy one when you can go in and buy 2 with a friend at twice the price? Yes, thank you, Hardware Hacker, for going in. Oh, yeah, Hardware Hacker points out with free Virex. But yes, thank you, Hardware Hacker, for going in with me so that we could, basically, instead of one of us paying $10 for one program and one of us having to buy something we didn't need to get 3 for $20, Hardware Hacker went in with me on the 3 for $20 so that I just could buy the 2 things I really wanted. So thank you, Hardware Hacker, for doing that. Allowed me to get 2 things for the, allowed us to work it out. So yeah, I was going to open this because the shrink wrap is constricted and kind of bent the box up. I kind of wanted the box to put it on my shelf of decorations. But let's see what you would have got in the software only Snooper box. Version 2.0. Do not run on a 2SI or an SE30 because it'll bus error. Yeah, it'll do. But Retro Fox says, but the value. So there you go. Looks familiar. Probably seen it run on my channel before, but now I actually have the retail box. I don't care about the... Actually, it'll be more valuable if I can, put something in the box to kind of straighten it up so that it'll actually sit on the shelf again. Because I really wanted the box for this, for the decoration value, so... Oh, wow! I thought this was software only, and I think this may have just, I think this might have just paid for itself, and Hardware Hacker is probably going to be glad he got one of these. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to give that away. Hardware Hacker might be happy to see that this is in the software-only box, should he have maybe got one. But it looks like the software-only box came with the serial loopback dongles. Oh, Hardware Hacker says it's fine, Justin. All right. That might have been worth getting this, because now I don't have to make a set of serial loopback dongles. All right, cool. So it looks like software only, and you still got the serial dongle, or the serial loopbacks. Yeah, Hardware Hacker says, oh sweet, extra goodies. And you got your registration form. Oh, I love that. I love that logo. That's pretty cool. Maybe I should send that into Max Corporation. Or Maxa Corporation. Well, they're probably out of business now. And we've got our floppy disks. Customer license agreement. Blah, 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 blah. All right. I agree with the license agreement. Put them back in the box so you don't lose them. Yes, I will. I'll put this all back in the box until I find something to, like, put the contents in. Oh! Alright, we've got the Desktop Diagnostics version 2. We've got the Diagnostics Emergency Disk System 6. And the Diagnostics Emergency Disk System 7. I don't think this disk is archived, because the only one that I've seen on the Macintosh Garden is that one, because it's an 800K disk. I don't know if the Garden's got the System 7 emergency disk archived, so assuming the disks are good, well, actually, I'll probably see if I can't read off all 3 disks, just in case it's a different version, so cool. All right, I will put these back in the box until I'm ready to do an archival read. Yeah, this box had it all. And there we go. We've got our diagnostic software manual on a nice wire-bound manual. Not that I don't know how to use it, but then again, it's kind of nice to have the manual, because maybe this says some things in it that might explain why it doesn't work well on some systems. Maybe there's like a... Oh, interesting. Macintosh, Mac Plus, Mac Classic, Mac Classic 2, Mac 2, Mac 2 CI, 2CX, Mac X, Mac FX, Mac 2SI, Mac LC, Mac SE, Mac SE30. Well, this is weird. It's naming off computers I've had trouble running this on. Kooky Fox says, always love paying Eli's table a visit. Yes. There we go. Work correctly in the entire line of Macintosh computers, starting with the Plus. Interesting. All right. Oh, and then, oh, here's our Virex, our free Virex. Cool. Maybe I might leave this sealed. I don't exactly need to open it, but anyways, there you go. So, was this worth what I paid for it? Yes. Having a set of those loopback plugs was probably worth getting the full retail box, and a bonus is that we can archive the other emergency disc that I don't think the Garden has. So... Thank you, Hardware Hacker. Yeah, easy to do. Just follow these steps. Step 1, open the box. Step 2, put that dongle pack back in the box. All right. Oh, and then from Eli's software library, they also had some I/O cards. So in this lovely plastic bag that may or may not come from somewhere in New Jersey, because I'm going to protect the potentially guilty because you have to use reusable bags in New Jersey. I've got one 8-bit IO card, which I think has a second serial dongle there, or second serial header there, with the Gold Star chipset. Made in the USA. Not only do I have one of these, I have two of them. So I could show you how the PCB was probably manufactured. Probably about like that. Oh, looky there. You could even see the mark on the PCB where they were broken apart. But yeah, there were two of them, and given how many 8-bit systems I have, I went ahead and picked both up. Plus, yeah, two little IO cards. Thunderclap. Plus, a sound card. And not just any sound card, it's a wavetable sound card. Because right there, right there is the Crystal CS9236 wavetable chip. So there we go. Yeah, sound card. Because I know there's the Pico Gust, but sometimes I like to pick up random ISA sound cards to compare how they sound with other sound cards. And from what I can tell from people's sentiments online, that wavetable sound chip is awful. So we'll have to be the judge of that someday. So for these three IO cards, they said make an offer. And I think I offered $20. It was like $5 each for the IO cards and $10 for the sound card. It's just ISA. That's not EISA. So $20 for these, and they accepted my offer. So we're up to $30. Oh, wait. I haven't shown the other thing that was in the $10 for the software. Richard Fox says the one I got is an ESS 1869. Oh, as a side note, Hardware Hacker loaned me Xenogears for the PlayStation. So thank you, Hardware Hacker, for loaning me this game. I will have to let you know how I enjoy it. It just was a handy place to put it to make sure I didn't misplace the discs. I'll take those upstairs and put them with my PlayStation. Oh, yeah. Retro Fox says, excellent game. All right, the other software I bought was this Trevor Sorensen's Star Legions by Supernova Creations and Mark Baldwin. I thought the cover looked pretty epic. It is for the IBM and 100% compatibles. It is actually AdLib and Sound Blaster compatible. Runs on a 286 12 megahertz or better. And extended memory above 1 megabyte is supported with HiMem. Includes digitized voice with Sound Blaster and 1 megabyte extended memory. Ooh, there's a megabyte of extended memory in here? Wow. I think they might have meant to word that differently. Oh, wait a minute. Did we have? Oh, wait. Oh, we have Brandon Bishop in the chat. Hi, Brandon. Welcome. Yes, Brandon Bishop. One of the OG YouTubers. B Bishop PCM. Great hanging out with you this weekend. There we go. I don't know if this game's good or not, but I thought it looked pretty cool. Late to the feed, watching from the beginning. All right. So there we go. Check that out someday. So that game was also from Eli's Software Encyclopedia. All right. The next item, or shall I say items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little ribbon cables. They were $1 each. Given how they're marked, I think they probably were all from the same seller. Possibly. They call this one an unusual floppy cable, but I don't see anything unusual about it. These, I think, are... These, I'm pretty sure, are MFM data cables. And then I think I picked up 2 MFM control cables. Or I might have them reversed. So anyways, 5 ribbon cables. They were $1 a piece. So that was $5. Brandon says, I picked up a few games myself from Eli. All of them worked this time. Excellent. Chris says, I remember when you bought those cables in Consignment. Yes. Hardware Hacker says, right, Justin, that floppy cable is totally normal computing. And last but not least, for the Consignment pickup, you will never, ever guess what it is. There's no telling how you would ever guess what this is. Not even from quite possibly across the table. Retro Fox says, it's a bread oven. Callan says, Chris says, where did you put that in the car? Was it in the box? I don't remember seeing that. Yeah, I stuck it in the box. I think at one point I put it underneath something in the box to kind of hide the fact there was a laptop in it. Jesse says, it's a walking clock. Hardware Hacker says, I know, it's a Stealth Vic 20. I know. I'm like, yeah, it's hard to miss. Anyways, yeah. I'm not sure exactly. Cookie Fox said he put it in the trunk to help with traction. Yes, seriously. Yeah, it was a $5 Toshiba satellite laptop. I don't know if it powers on. I'll take their word. So I don't know if the hard drive starts. I will take them at their word. No display. That's probably accurate. A laptop Vic 20, says Callan. Yeah. Anyways, why did I buy it? I felt bad for it. But look at this. The back, it still has the plastic cover over the dock port. That's still intact. The plastic looks good here. It's got the floppy drive a bit yellowed, but whatever. The knob here, I think that's the battery release. Is that the battery release? I don't know where I don't know what that is. Anyways, over here, okay, so it does look like, well, there were no mystery cards, but it did have one of the filler PCM CIA cards in it, so that's nice. I'll put that back so I don't lose it. And Hardware Hacker says starts. What about continues spinning afterwards? Hardware Hacker says might be battery status lights. Yes. And the keyboard, although quite awful, the key feel is actually pretty bad. Retro Fox says, it would be funny if they just had the contrast dial turned all the way down. Yeah, let me see if I got a power cable for it. I should. But it has the nubbins. And the screen does not look cracked. And I don't see any signs of vinegar syndrome. So, and that eraser mouse. Yeah, so, I mean, it's quite awful keyboard. Actually, not pleasant to type on. It's a Pentium laptop. It was $5. It could be a project. You know, that is a good question. It is possible they just had the display turned all the way down. Oh, the other reason, wonder if the cable connecting the monitor just dislodged. That is also a good idea. It just takes a kettle plug, so all I got to do is find a non-polarized kettle plug, and I should be able to plug it in. Now, the problem is, that the kettle plug I have at my bench is polarized because I was testing PlayStations. But I should have a non-polarized one around here somewhere. Maybe adapt that keyboard, compact keyboard to work with it. Yeah. All right, we'll go through everything else in the box. And then I'll go see if I can find a power adapter for this, because the last few items were donated to the channel by Brandon Bishop. So thank you, Brandon. And the first two items are compact slipcases. And these are for the LTE Elite and the Compact Contora 400 series of personal computers. Still have the original tag on them. Compact branded. Nice nylon with probably fake leather accent trim. Although, you know, that might actually be genuine leather. That's probably not genuine leather. Chris has had 4 of these. Yeah. Anyways, I dislodged out of orbit because it's a satellite. Funny. But look at this. Even still has the do not eat silica gel in it. So very nice. I have an LTE Elite that is something I hope to get back to soon to try to repair it. And once I repair it, I have a slipcase for it. And I'm sure I can probably put the other one to good use as well. But anyways, there we go. Thank you, Brandon. And last but not least, all right, we have a PowerBook 3400C parts. Booted when parked. So the story about this is, I guess Brandon was disassembling it so that he could restore it, and the plastic broke, and he, well, yeah, it's a DIY PowerBook kit. Yeah. Anyways, he decided to give away the parts. So it is a project. The frame is broken, but all the parts should be in here, and we'll probably gradually work on this. So anyways, there we go. We got, I'm kind of not really going to pull the parts out tonight because I don't want to lose anything. Oh, also there's a bonus trackball in here that is an ADB trackball. But you can see there we got the RAM, and there should be like there's some other boards there. The screen and logic board should be down there. I'm just going to leave these in this box. I don't want to lose anything or shift anything. But anyways, yeah, just add, Soccer Ranch says, just add glue. Lots of glue. Lazy Bite says, and maybe some duct tape. Yeah. So anyways, thank you, Brandon. This will be a fun project for the channel. One of these days, we'll get it back up and fully serviced. And it'll be cool, even if we have to 3D print some stuff to fix it. This will be a Retrotech, Chris says, fully serviced. Yes. Yes, I want to get some stickers printed that say this PC has been fully serviced. Just like Greg Got Cars has his this vehicle has been fully serviced stickers. I want my stickers to say this PC has been, or this Mac has been fully serviced. Chris says, oh, heck yeah. Callan says a little acetone and super glue and it'll be good to go. Hard Hacker says, I was about to say that. Yeah. But anyways, we will go ahead and we'll leave this here for now. Chris says, check the tire pressure. Fully serviced. Oh yeah, that was one of the, on the way up, that was one of our like mini adventures. Since we couldn't check in till 4, we actually stopped by Greg Got Cars. And I opted to not get any selfies on the premises. But Chris got some, Chris had me take some pictures. So yeah, we can say we've seen Greg Got Cars. And I can say again, camera angles do a world of wonder to make your lot look bigger than it is. It was probably smaller than we both thought it was when we got there. And no, we didn't get to meet Greg. He didn't come out. He might have not even been there. But anyways, yeah. So, all right, I'm going to see if I've got a spot on a shelf that I can just stick this entire box. It looks like I may have to make a spot on a shelf to stick this entire box. So I am just going to stick this entire box on the ground. CDI says, quote, this corporate asset was delivered in perfect running condition. Any damage resulting from employee use will be reported. Yeah, Chris says, Greg Got Cars is a small car dealer who started on social media to share his car sales experiences and has done very well with it. Yes. Yes. And I've got a funny story that Chris tells me about Greg Got Cars. And I go find his Facebook page or something. I see he's in Woodbridge and I follow him. I make a comment to Chris. I was like, yeah, I followed Greg Got Cars. I want options if I need to buy a car. And then I think Chris makes some comment. Yeah, maybe we'll stop by his dealership on the way to VCF East. And I'm thinking to myself, well, Woodbridge, Virginia is not exactly on the way to VCF East. And I look again and I realize he's in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Which first explains his accent. And second, yeah. Okay, it was a little out of the way too, but hey, it was it was our adventure going up. Cookie Fox says Woodbridge, New Jersey isn't exactly on the way either, to be honest. Yeah. Yes, it's Toyota Tundra. Yes. He says Toyota. Yeah, it was a detour, but considering we knew we were going to be a bit early, we decided to make the detour. In fact, I kind of think, depending on the time of day, it would have been a longer detour to have detoured to Woodbridge, Virginia, than it was to detour to Woodbridge, New Jersey. So I think overall we were good on time. Yeah, Brandon says that PowerBook is complete. The LCD shell and hinge mounts have been fully repaired. The entire unit was fully functional. The only issue was the chassis stiffener is rough. Hope you can get it back to the condition it deserves. I hope so too, Brandon. I'm going to give it my best. And if I need to, I will see if we can't get some community help getting replacement parts modeled so other people can 3D print replacement parts so that they can repair their PowerBook 3400s. Jesse says, as opposed to my detours of a ghost town and a town with the same name as my hometown. Hey, I think detours are cool when you're traveling. I can't say that I'd never detour to places. So. And a Lego on the way up there, that was fun. Ah, yes. Ooh, Lego detours. Those are always fun. All right, let's see if I can't find a power cable. And we will try to power this Toshiba satellite up. I think I'm going to have to go embarrassingly enough, I'm going to have to go to a box of stuff that I had at VCF East last year that is still that I still have not bothered to fully unload because I don't, for reasons. Yes, Lego store, yes. Cookie Fox says, great Lego store in Freehold, New Jersey. Yes. Actually, they are building I think they're building a new Lego. I don't remember if it's a distribution center or manufacturing plant or maybe both in Richmond, Virginia. So, well, keep my eye out if they have like an outlet store or something there. That could be a cool place to visit. Lazy Bite Boy says, only detour I took was accidentally taking the wrong exit to the George Washington Bridge. Oh, Brandon says, oh, and it has a brand new Finco registered trademark PRAM battery. Oh, nice. Nice. All right. Now let me see if I can find that power cord. I know I've got one around here somewhere. I've got something that takes a non-polarized kettle plug. Oh, yeah, I do. It's called the LTE Elite. I think those take non-polarized kettle plugs. So I know I have one. Actually, let me... how about let me just put you all on hold for a minute or two. You'll have chill hold music, and then that'll let me have a chance to go find a plug. So, be right back. found a power cable. Let's see here. Let's see here. Jesse says, I plan on going to VCF East next year. I can easily detour that direction. Awesome. Lazy Bite Boy's going to try to go next year. Awesome. Kooky Fox says, yeah, probably about 45 minutes from Rawl. Awesome. Brandon says, my drive down sucked. Constant traffic jams. And was routed through the MetLife Stadium parking lot. The drive home was much better. Took a different route. Awesome. All right. Glad your drive back was better. Lazy Bite Boy says, yeah, there was a lot of traffic. I'm sure the Boston Marathon added a bunch of traffic too. Hey, Jack68K, welcome. Oh, Brandon says, I mistakenly set my via point to Nyack, New York, and rather than the Tappan Z directly, so it routed me through the narrow streets of Nyack. Ugh. Retro Tech Chris says, glad to hear it. I guess we will see whether they hold it next year, where they will hold it next year, hopefully in Wall. Yes. Yeah, I thought I would also kind of give my thoughts about it. But first, let's see what this Toshiba satellite does. So there we go. I have plugged in power. Oh, all right. We have a power light indicator. Oh, I am going to plug VGA in because someone pointed out, I don't remember who because I talked with a lot of people. Someone did suggest that maybe I should try plugging in VGA because maybe there could be something wrong with the display, but maybe VGA out might work. So anyways, I'll go ahead and plug that in. But let's see what happens if I press the power button, which I have. Oh, maybe that's what this switch on the side was. No, that doesn't appear to be a power. There we go. Power button's on the left side. On, hard drive. The hard drive spin up. The hard drive is not happy. Hard drive is not happy. Oh. No, it did not continue to spin. It spins up and then it goes click, 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 and then it spins down. Now try the dial on the side of the screen. All right, let's see what that does. I am trying the dial on the side of the screen and I am not seeing anything. Wait a minute. Is there a backlight? No, I'm not. I can't tell if there's a backlight on or not. Let me turn. Oh, wrong switch. Let me turn that off for my overhead light off for a moment. I think the backlight might be on because I'm not entirely convinced that's a reflection of lights from overhead. Hold on. Although maybe that is. Never mind. Okay. Maybe the backlight is not on. Let me see if maybe the... Oh, wait. I just realized my multi-sync monitor actually thinks it has a signal. Oh, wait a minute. We have something on the screen. The screen works! The screen works! Oh yeah, we got something on VGA too. Hold please while I fix OBS. Whoop, nope. Let me undo that. All right. Properties. It's like OBS is. Oh, there we go. Hey, we have SJ Brian EXE. Welcome, SJ. Good evening. Better late than ever. Fluorescent bulb or its inverter probably went out. Actually, no. I think the problem was... Okay, the screen looks absolutely dreadful. Something tells me it's a... Yeah, it looks absolutely dreadful. Got poor viewing angles. It might need recap, because it's not exactly getting very dark. Checks, yeah. But anyways, the screen did not turn on. So I think maybe I was seeing the backlight, but there was nothing on the screen. Or maybe there was no backlight. It took like a minute or two before the screen turned on. And as soon as it turned on, I saw the error message. So apparently, the whole reason I got this laptop for $5 is the seller powered it up and didn't wait long enough for the screen to show something. So yeah, check system, then press F1 key. Well, if I press F1, will it go to setup? Yes, it will. All right. Retro Fox says, best kind of buys. There we go. BIOS version 5.10. Have no idea if that's the best one. Let's see here. Total memory, 24 megabytes. Display adapter, VGA compatible. Yep, LCD display mode color. We'll leave that. LCD display colors, 222K colors. I don't know if there's like space and backspace change values. What are the... Oh, that's weird. Power on display. How about simultaneous? There we go. Retronet Chris is asking which colors are missing. Yeah, that is oddly specific. Text mode stretch enabled. Yeah, the brightness knob, although I think it's actually a contrast knob. I'm not sure it's brightness. I am not convinced it's brightness. It's acting like it's contrast. Yeah, let me see if I can capture on camera what it's doing. And I'm not entirely convinced that the screen doesn't have problems. It has awful viewing angles, but it's... So if you turn it all the way one way, it's inverted and faint. And then somewhere about a third of the way in, a third to a half, you get what's the best looking, but it's still something's weird about it. And then if you keep turning it, it just like washes it out. So I'm thinking that's a contrast knob, and I'm thinking this is a possibly a passive matrix screen. Jesse says CS 100% passive matrix. Yep. Brandon's confirming that is the contrast knob. So, yeah, I think the problem was it didn't activate the screen until I guess it got to a point in the boot where it needed to tell me an error. That's weird. Retro Fox says, yeah, so no gaming on that screen, but we'll be fine on the external screen. All right, so let's see here. Actually, oh, ECP. All right. COM1, LPT1, power up mode, boot. What are the choices? Boot, resume. All right, boot. That sounds good. CPU cache enabled. That's good. Full power. Yeah, high. Enabled, disabled. All right, that looks good. All right. In to save changes and exits. Let's see what happens. All right. Oh, I bet this thing needs recapped. Because now that it's... maybe that's why the screen didn't turn on immediately. Or maybe without CMOS settings, it was going through some extended CMOS. I don't know. Brandon says, this era of Toshiba satellites were my favorite, but they were so fragile even when new. Yeah, Harder Hacker says, text-based adventure games would work fine, though. Yeah. Here's the million-dollar question. Will it play Doom? Oh, I'm pretty sure the hard drive is dead, because it's not even spinning now. Or is it? Chris says, maybe they contracted Compaq to make the BIOS startup sequence. Oh, it's trying to detect the hard drive. Brandon says, you can play Doom on a digital pregnancy test. Yeah. Retro Fox says, I have a similar-ish Toshiba, but it's Active Matrix. Great Windows 95/98 machine. Jesse says, Toshiba syndrome for the hard drive. Yeah, I'll have to put some sort of an adapter in it. It is the Toshiba Satellite 110CS. I do not know what speed processor it is. I do know it has 24 megs of RAM. That's all I know now. I don't know what hard drive is in it. Probably some Goner hard drive. Oh, wait. Pentium era. Connor might have been gone by that point. Pentium MMX, welcome, says 110CS is Pentium 100 megahertz and has no sound card. I have the 430 CDT. Oh, yeah. No sound card. Oh, there we go. Hard drive 0 error. Brandon says, should be a Toshiba brand drive if original. RetroTech Chris says, yeah, that is late in the life cycle to not have sound. Oh, Brandon says the microphone vent is just a ruse. This was one of their budget models. Yeah. Yeah, see the microphone vent. Right here. Or, well, rather, that's what they want you to believe, it looks like. Yep, I'll have to get a Kevin Moonlight card for this. Pentium MMX says, yeah, they were meant to be just a basic no-frills business laptop. Yeah, no frills in that this thing is not even... Power off. Fine. I was trying to be nice, but you're not being nice. So there, I'm just going to unplug you. All right, let's see if we can't open up the bottom and maybe do something about the hard drive. That would be pretty cool to... I think that'd be pretty cool to get this thing booting. Just says I just put a 240 gigabyte SSD in my LTE 5400. Yes, I saw that. That's pretty cool. Now my question is, did they put the XT IDE BIOS into the correct version compact firmware? Or did they put it in the latest version that can hang on boot? Oh, they did. Excellent. 7.2. Awesome. Yeah, if you have an LTE 5000 series laptop, you want version 7.2 of the firmware. That's not the... Oh. This has had some sadness. And here I was thinking that we might have this awesome success story, and I don't like finding rust in the bottom of it. All right, so let's go ahead and remove the RAM card. Obviously, I've chosen poorly as to where the hard drive is, but... All right, so this is going to be 16 megabytes RAM upgrade. Medium MMX says, fortunately, the ones in my 430 CDT barely leaked. Yeah, I'm afraid that could be battery. All right, so that's not where the... All right. So... Oh, I thought the battery was removable. All right. Trying to get the battery out because I'm trying to figure out where the hard drive is. Undo the latch and slide it out towards you. All right. Pull that switch up and slide. All right. I'm thinking it might actually be stuck into place. I think the battery is stuck. Because I don't see how it slides this way. But I do see that there's the seam here and here and here. So I think I need... I'm kind of afraid this is the battery that might have leaked. So let me see if I can't. Yeah, I'm afraid of. Yeah, I'm afraid my $5 bargain is quickly turning into a $5 liability. Richard Fox says, solve the Toshiba satellite mystery in the Cinnabites will appear. Yeah. Yeah, certainly a mystery. All right. So I've got a spudger to very gently try to I'm actually not convinced there's a battery in here. Oh, there we go. All right, got the cover off. Oh, and I think there's the hard drive right under it. I'm actually thinking the reason why it wasn't coming off is because I think normally there would be a battery pack in here that releasing the latch would have allowed the spring to spring the battery up. Without a battery pack in here, there was nothing for the spring to... Here we go. But the good news is, it still has the caddy. The bad news is, it's the Toshiba. Well, the battery contacts here don't look corroded. There's some mystery corrosion on the hard drive, though. Let's see, do I have... All right, let's see here if I can't... Pentium MMX says this, the ones under the keyboard that cause the most damage. All right, let's take a look under the... Jesse says Toshiba syndrome, although Toshiba hard drives didn't go full liability until a decade ago. All right, we'll have to put a replacement in this computer. At least the caddy is still here, which will make it easier to install something with having the caddy. Oh, Pentium MMX is warning me. This may require me to remove some very fragile plastic from in front of the keyboard. All right. CMOS batteries are easy to get to. All right. Let me see here. Yeah, let me see if I can figure out how you get the keyboard out. Ah, there we go. I found the maintenance manual. Let's see here. Features. Oh, new exciting features. Yeah. Oh, the 110CS has an 11.3-inch dual scan super twist pneumatic, or DSTN, color LCD with 800 by 600 pixels. Yay. Marketing names. Yeah, this has 3 different batteries. Main battery, backup battery for memory backup, a real-time clock battery. 3 times the leaking. All right, let's see here. Keyboard. All right. Removing the keyboard. To remove the keyboard, follow the steps below. Turn the computer off. Remove the battery pack. Optional PC card, optional memory module, and hard drive. Release 14 latches on the base cover and remove it. Begin along the front side. Lovely. Yeah, only 14 latches. Which seems like about maybe... Yeah, and I think that's this piece of plastic here. That seems like about 8 more latches than absolutely necessary. You know, maybe I should use the guitar pick. Someone's been in here before. I think I can tell. All right, so far so good. All right, I think this is one of the critical latches. All right, ooh, got it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 latches along the front, and one of them broke here. Oh, there we go. All right. I broke that one there, but there's still 5 to hold it back into place. That's a relief. And there we go. There's our keyboard. And there's one of our heart stoppers. Actually, I don't know that I really want to remove that yet. Brandon says they were brittle 25 years ago. Yeah. All right, lift out the keyboard, set it on the wrist rest. Remove the 5 M2 screws securing the metal cover. Lift out the cover. Oh, then you can disconnect the keyboard cable. Okay. All right. That's weird. Someone's put some tape here. And I think that's where 2 of the screws are. One, two, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think 2 of the screws are under that. Brandon says, I bought one that had been in the original box for 20 years and it completely fell to pieces. Oh, of the Acer built IBM ThinkPad series. Pentium MMX says the 486 base T2100 series are literally turning to dust. I don't know that this is tape from someone that's owned this before. It could be. I'm wondering if Toshiba might have put some insulating tape over these screws for some reason. I'll put this to the side because it's some pretty fancy mesh tape. Kind of thinking it might have been to dull the. Brandon says that looks factory, maybe not. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm torn between Toshiba put it there to keep the oh, with the keyboard in though, that's where the keyboard cable would fold over. So I'm actually thinking that might have been factory, probably to fix a problem where the keyboard cable could rub against these 2 screws and break. Oh, all right. We'll see you later, Brandon. Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe they fixed a potential problem. Or maybe someone that's had this open before put that there because they thought those screws might rub the ribbon cable for the keyboard, considering now it's difficult to get replacement parts. So I guess I could see both as a possibility. All right. The reason I'm removing this plate is because I think, well, the service manual says to do that so we can release the clips on the keyboard ribbon cable. There we go. That might be an awful keyboard, but I don't think there were any aftermarket better replacements. Oh, that's an interesting board. And that's more of that same tape there. So I have a feeling that was factory tape. All right. Well, let's go ahead and remove these 2 batteries. So we have this one. Oh. I think there's a screw holding the battery holders in. Something. All right, so this battery definitely looks like an original Toshiba battery. And I mean, I can't tell if it's leaked or not, but well, it's out. Yeah, the big battery's held down with a sticky pad. All right, it's out. And the little CMOS battery, this is probably the real-time clock battery if I had to guess. Ooh, it's a Varta nickel metal hydride. And, oh, it is... Oh, lovely. It is clipped in under this board here. think that's the... Oh, I think that's the video card. There we go. Yep. Jesse says, big ones suspend, little ones real-time clock. There we go. We got both batteries out. I don't see any damage. I think we might have gotten that out just in time. All right. I don't see any damage under there. Yeah, I don't know if Jesse has batteries for this model. I'll let him confirm in the chat. I haven't, since I just picked it up this weekend, I haven't even had a chance to check his web store to see if he has replacements for either battery. Not that I necessarily need the clock to be correct or anything, but yeah. Penny MMX says that looks nice. I always find them leaking. Jesse says I carry both of these. Awesome. All right. Then you'll probably see me order some at some point. Don't necessarily need to rush it though, but all right. We got the batteries out, so at least we don't have to worry about those leaking. Hey Dave, welcome. My $5 Toshiba laptop purchase. Yep, says, should I also change my handle to a CPU? Yeah, it looks, all right, so let's see if we can't maybe... I don't know. Maybe let's put the keyboard back in, and we'll screw that... Actually, you know, I'm not going to screw that metal plate back down just yet. I think everything will stay together just fine. I'm trying to think if I have an IDE hard drive. Like one I could erase and install in this, install a new copy of Windows for this Toshiba. All right, I think I got the keyboard's plugged in. All right, well, that's probably good enough for... All right, so the RAM card has been pulled out. But that's fine. It should power up with less RAM. MMX says 400 CDT and 430 CDT have both Windows 95 on them. Hi, Bruce. Welcome. We have Brankus Creations. This is a $5 Toshiba satellite I picked up at VCF East. It said, power's on. For those of you just joining, power's on. Hard drive starts. No display. I have confirmed power's on was correct. I have confirmed that technically hard drive starts was correct. However, it then spun down. No display. I have confirmed that that was actually not correct. So I'm going to turn it back on. I'm thinking it may take a moment to actually turn the display on. But we do have VGA out. Jesse says it came with 74 restore floppies. At least the 425 CDS did. Jack 68K says hard drive. Nope. Yeah, it would spin it up and down, and finally give up. Pentium MMX says, I recapped the Mac Quadra 610 logic board just last week. Nice. All right, we have a flashing cursor. The machine is probably waiting for something. But I think that's why the seller thought no display, because this display doesn't turn on when you first power it up until it actually prints an error on the screen. I think that saved me. Actually, if this had been any more than $5, I probably wouldn't have bought it. Oh yeah, Jack says repeatedly spinning up and down a certain depth. Yeah, I think the hard drive's dead. I don't think there's no. Actually, it's not that I think the hard drive is dead. I'm pretty sure it is dead. No need to think about that. Just trying to think of. I think I might have an adapter floating around. Let me see if I have a spare adapter floating around. I'm going to need to be small enough to fit in the available hard drive compartment. Well, there we go. So we got the beep, and actually the screen still hasn't turned on. It may need recap. If we press F1, all right, I've got the 16 meg upgrade removed, so that's why we don't have a the 24 megs of RAM. I just haven't put it in yet, back yet. No hard drive because there's no hard drive installed. All right. Well, there we go. Oh, the onboard display is corrupted. I may not have something plugged in all the way. Well, there we go. The onboard display is correct now. That was weird. It's showing what I'm seeing on the VGA port now. Now, will it try to seek the floppy drive? If it tries to seek the floppy drive, I'll find a DOS floppy disk. Pentium MMX says those Toshiba floppy drives have belts in them and they have all gone bad. Oh, well, that would probably explain why it hasn't made floppy drive seek noises yet. Jesse says, I wasn't going to spoil that surprise. Oh, insert system disk and drive. Press any key when ready. Let me see. Is it actually going to turn the floppy drive LED on? Yep. I have a feeling if I do find a DOS disk, that is. I had a feeling that surprise was waiting for me. I started having that feeling when the hard drive did not stay spun up. Capcom says, might have to get some TPU and print yourself some new belts. Maybe I can get some Wonder Plastic and just 3D print an entirely new floppy drive. That'd be cool. 3D print the heads and motors and everything. Computer, make me one Toshiba floppy drive replacement. Jack says, I haven't contemplated 3D printing belts. Jesse says, hope it's a Citizen W1D that 10% of these came with. Oh. Capcom says, sorry your mic cut out what you just said about your printer while you were turned away. Yeah, I made a joke about 3D printing an entirely new floppy drive, like heads and motors and all. Computer, make me one standard Toshiba replacement floppy drive. Oh, stop beeping. I'm going to unplug you. Gutpump says, haha, we're only a few years from replicators. Jesse says, most of the disk drives were EME 279 something, I think. This one was a HDD 2517 EM. I don't see those letters you mentioned on there, but that's what the hard drive is. Bruce says, Earl Grey tea, hot. Oh, talking about the floppy drive. Okay. All right, well, let's see what the floppy drive is. There's a 10% chance that it's a Citizen W1D, which means I'd be able to get a replacement, an open flops replacement. And then there's a 90% chance that it is not, and that I won't. All right, let me go and remove the keyboard. I have a feeling removing the floppy drive will be a bit easier if I don't have a keyboard flopping around. There we go. All right. Keyboard's out. Now we'll flop around. All right, let me see if I can figure out how the floppy drive comes out. Something tells me it's not going to come out unless I remove the bottom. There's the floppy drive. unintentionally bumped the capacitor on my board. Oh, but I think it's fine. I think I just unglued it. All right, so I guess I can go ahead and lift that latch. But it looks like I'm going to have to remove the bottom of the laptop to actually get the drive out. But at least the ribbon cable is not locked. All right. All right. Let's see what. Like to snap that ends. It does not contact the screen. There we go. All right. So let's see. Holding the bottom case on. I think I see 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want to find a screwdriver for the other screws because that one won't fit. Won't fit. All right. I think there should be a screw there, 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 and there, and I need a long one. Which means I have to find a screwdriver that will fit the hole. Oh, do I even have one? I know I've got one somewhere. Oh, here we go. It's fallen onto the floor. That one should work. All right. Oh, I thought there was a... there may not be any screws down those. Oh, that screw's been... Oh, these two screws here have been removed. Why am I not surprised? All right, now that I've got those screws out, I bet there's still tabs holding this thing together. Of course. All right. So let me check the service manual. I've got it open here. Floppy disk drive. Remove the battery pack, PC card, memory module, hard drive, keyboard, sub battery, VGA board, real-time clock battery, and top cover with display assembly. Oh. All right. So I did remove all the screws. Turn computer over and lift back the... Oh. Okay. Disconnect the panel sensor. Close. Oh, okay. This board has to come out. Because there is... have to disconnect the ground cable here. Oh, yep. I have a feeling that screw is... I have a feeling that screw is going through a standoff. Or some sort of insert into the board. Alright. Gotta remove the close sensor. Which is right here. Seem to get that out. Alright, I'll get that fast. Alright. And the LCD cable. All this to get to the floppy drive. That tracks. almost like they designed it so you would just simply replace the whole laptop if floppy drive needed replaced. All right, now there's like 2 screws, one here. Wait, no, that's not the one that's telling me to remove. We're pointing to oh, there's one of them. Oh, special. Oh, it's not stripped. There we go. Oh, that may be a captive screw. There's one, and I don't see the other. So, will the display section lift up now? Oh, the other screw's under this tape, I bet. Yeah, there's a screw there. Okay. All this to figure out what brand of floppy drive it is. All right. I'll get to the chat in a moment. I'm sure I'm. You know, the service manual implies that the top will just separate right off once you remove all the screws. I'm finding that is not true. You know, I didn't know any better. I would think that someone glued the two halves of this laptop together. there's that matter of the one screw that is not in the location shown in the manual, but it is. That would explain this. I think the shells have been glued together. Is the 110 CS sticker factory thing? I believe so. Hi, Jean-Francois Paré. Welcome. A lot like the one my wife had when we met many, many, many years ago. IPA cold. Might be a multi-bay. I don't think it's a multi-bay, but I'm thinking this is glue residue, not corrosion, but I could be wrong. This laptop could be held by corrosion, but something seems to be holding this front on. And while it looks like there should be some clips, it is like quite thoroughly stuck along this front edge. And given the fact that I think someone's been in it before, all right, I was trying a plastic spudger for less damage, but I think I'm going to have to go to metal spudger. And oh, or it's just a okay. There we go. I think I got all the clips off. Maybe it wasn't glued. I don't know what was holding it together. But looks like we got clips on the back edge. Yes, this poor plastic. But it's got to come apart. Oh, the plastic swelled over time? Okay, that's probably it. Or shrunk. Whichever one plastic does. Alright, I think I got the two separated, except for this lid closed sensor, which I was having trouble gripping. Oh. Well, I ended up pulling the pins are still on the board. There we go. Let me put that back on the board. Ended up pulling the plastic shroud up, but I think I can put it back on the pins on the motherboard, and you'll never know. There we go. So there we go. Now that I have the display off, I'm going to set it somewhere where hopefully I won't damage the actual LCD panel. Oh, we're almost to midnight. Good night, Dave. Got a 3D7 chip lifter SC on the right of the table. I guess that is actually, yes, it is an Intel Overdrive chip lifter. It'll work on 480. Well, it'll work on anything that's the correct pin pitch. So, yes, that is. All right, so there's our power supply. Danger. Don't mess with it unless you know what you're doing. I'm suspecting I'll have to recap that at some point. So now that we've got this open, let's see if I can get the floppy drive the rest of the way, and we will close on a floppy drive brand reveal. If I think it's a Panasonic. Hi, SRYX. First upgrade ever got permission from my parents to perform was to add a math coprocessor to our 386 because I thought it would make Pavre faster. Or Panasonic's current brand, yes. Yes, more accurately. But so as not to accidentally butcher the name and accidentally say something I don't mean to say, I will just say Panasonic because yeah, it's a Panasonic drive or their parent company. So wait, that means it's not a Citizen drive, or did they buy Citizen? All right, I guess we'll take the rest of the screws off. All right, I guess kind of a good news, bad news type of deal about this system. The good news is that the display actually works. The bad news is it's like the worst looking display ever. And it probably needs recap, which is going to risk more plastic. I'm not convinced it's working correctly. The contrast was just even at where the contrast adjustment that had it looking its best, it was kind of crummy looking. Yep, there we go. It's an EME 279 TC. So, yeah, not a Citizen. Because if it was a Citizen hard drive, I could make some Starship Troopers reference, but, well, it's not doing its part. The TC Console 5 might have the belt. Oh, okay, so maybe there's hope. Bomb says, did somebody say crummy? There we go. I got the cover off. Yeah, I'm fairly sure. Is there a drive belt down in there? I can't tell. Can't tell if there's a drive belt down in there, if it's direct drive. Oh. No, there's a drive belt, because right there's the motor. Yeah, that's the motor. And the belt probably goes from here. And there's probably a guide bushing or something that redirects the belt that way to then go around and back. And I probably won't be able to see the belt unless I remove the disk loading mechanism, which I don't want to do this late at night. But Jesse says TC, it's a TC. Console 5 might have the belt. Yeah, it's a TC. So let me just look on Console 5's website and see if they have the belt. Because if they've got a belt and I can fix the floppy drive, then let's see here. Can repair upgrade kits. Let's see, that's gonna be under belts, Panasonic. Okay, good news, bad news. The good news is they do have a belt listing. The bad news is they are designing a new belt for better compatibility. They have no ETA, no units, no stock. But yes, it looks like at some point they will have a belt, but they don't now. So I guess on that disappointing note, this is where we're going to stop looking at the Toshiba CS or 110 CS for now. Maybe I can get a belt. I'm kind of torn because the thing is, I don't really need. I bought this machine as a $5 kind of repair challenge. On the one hand, I don't really need it. And I could maybe, rightfully so, put it back together and update the note saying it needs a floppy drive belt and I guess a new hard drive. And then someone would have a Pentium 100 system with 24 megs of RAM. And quite honestly, with as much as I have in it, I would almost give it to someone willing to repair it in person. I'm not going to ship it. The plastic's too fragile. On the other hand, though, if I don't repair it, then I'd be afraid it could go to e-waste. So I guess I will very carefully put all of this into a small box with all the screws and everything. I'm not going to do that tonight. And I will set it aside, and if Console 5 restocks belts for these floppy drives relatively soon, then maybe I'll go ahead and fix the floppy drive, and I guess any other things that might be wrong. Maybe we might look at recapping the inverter board on the display. That might fix some of the display problems. And then then maybe I got a laptop that I could pass along, and at least it's has basic functionality. Could get someone started. Again, though, I'm not gonna ship this, so don't ask to ship. This one is definitely too fragile. Might be one of those things that, let's just say, might show up at another VCF event. But I think that might be what I'm going to do, because I don't want to I think I'll give a chance of repairing it on this channel. Because the thing is, I know I've got an LTE 5000 series that is probably 100 megahertz, and it probably has just about as much RAM in it. And the cool thing about the LTE 5000 series is the caddies are I've got several of the caddies, so I can swap drives between them. And they have onboard sound. But I'm not going to give up on it. It looks like it is repairable, but it's not going to happen tonight because we are past midnight. And boy, it feels like it's been a while since I've said we are past midnight. But anyways, there we go. That's my VCF East recap. Oh, thank you, Hardware Hacker. Five little dollars. Thank you very much. That'll go towards a belt. So I guess to close, I did have a few thoughts about VCF East that I thought that I would go over if I can remember what they were. So for the good, that's kind of some of the good and bad things about the event. I'm not going to talk about the incident. That was beyond their control. So some good things I noticed this year compared to last is I think they listened to feedback. They did give exhibitors a small window of time to go to consignment while exhibits were closed. I think they might have had that window Friday evening, but they did give exhibitors a small chance to go to consignment so that exhibitors, so there wasn't any exhibitor FOMO, because the thing is they ask exhibitors to be at your table at all times. Not every exhibitor has two people. And that was actually one of my feedbacks from last year to them was exhibitors need a chance to go to consignment. So it looks like they might have listened and gave a small window of time for exhibitors to be able to go to consignment to get things, because let's face it, a lot of the exhibitors, or at least a number of the exhibitors, the way they get content to then exhibit in the future is to go to things like the VCF consignment along with swap meets and other things. So letting them have a dedicated window to go browse and purchase from consignment helps them help have future exhibits. So I thought that was good. That was one thing that I thought was a positive change. Another thing is they really opened up rooms for exhibits. Last year they had, I guess, exhibit rooms A, B, and C, which are in the main building. And then I guess they had D, which is where the Big Bad Biologist Tablegate incident happened. But they had E, F, and G this year as like 3 more. Yeah, like 3 more exhibit rooms, because that what was traditionally like the lounge when you first came in that other building. Jack says Tablegate law. Yeah, that incident. Yeah, the table incident. So that was exhibits. Although I think they made them, they should have not put someone that had 10 Dell desktops in that room, and they were trying to have all 10 running at the same time. That exhibit may have underestimated power, so it may not be VCF's fault that they put one extremely power hungry exhibit in a room that had insufficient power. If you're exhibiting, please try to make a really good estimate of your actual power consumption. That'd be my tip if you want to exhibit in the future. Anyway, yeah, they had like A, B, C, D, E, F, and G exhibit rooms, so they like really opened it up. I thought there was a really good number of exhibits. I felt like that was also a good thing, just the number of exhibits they had, and I guess some of those were vendors. But I thought that was another good change. Now, a few things that I hope maybe they can improve upon in the future. Ticket prices. I don't know that Sunday's admission, given how that exhibits aren't open all day because the exhibits close at 2. I don't know that Sunday's admission price being the same as Fridays and Saturdays seems fair. So I'm hoping maybe they might be able to reevaluate ticket prices, because it's kind of a big ask to ask people to come on a one day on a Sunday, because you only have like 9 to 2 for exhibits. So I'm hoping that would kind of be one of the bads. Another one is the consignment. They had tables packed so closely, as Chris noticed, and I think I noticed it too, that if someone stopped in the middle of an aisleway to look at something, you were stuck, because there wasn't enough room for 2 people to be able to pass each other in some places. So, as much as I like the quantity of tables for consignment, it was a bit too tight. And then I did hear about consigners' items getting stolen. So that was another bad thing. Honestly, I don't know how they fix that, but that might be a case where maybe they're going to have to ban like being able to take a book bag into consignment. So that was kind of a bad thing. I know if at least one person that did have some items stolen, assuming they haven't like someone's not come to them and said, "Oh yeah, we found it." No, I didn't know about a stolen Walkman. So I think there were multiple items. I do know of one case where someone thought something was stolen, but it turned out someone had moved it and set it on the top shelf of one of the wire racks. So there was at least one item that was initially thought to be stolen, but it did turn up for Sunday. Jean Francois says, "Yeah, I lost a joystick. I was selling it for $5, so not a big deal." Oh, I wish I'd known. I completely missed you. Sorry. I didn't realize you were there. And of course, as quickly as the event ended, luckily I ran into Lazy Bite Boy evacuating the building. Given enough time, I'm sure I would have run into a few more people, but in fact, I'd even managed to miss Nick Millanew, who I follow him on Instagram, and I keep wanting to say hi, but this is like I think the 3rd VCF event that I've managed to somehow completely miss him, despite the fact that I want to say hi. He takes some great photos on Instagram. Yeah, it wasn't the best timing. I'm glad you did manage to catch me, though. So, So there was that. So I guess consignment is that. Yeah, that I guess that was a bad. And I guess the one other thing that maybe they can improve is I did feel really bad for the couple of vendors they had right outside the VCF museum. Seems like they really should have tried to. That is just really. I think they should have had 3 less tables elsewhere to be able to move those people, at least the vendors that were there, like, into the main exhibit areas. Because Kevin Moonlight was outside the VCF museum. It would have been I think it would have been way better if he had been in one of the other areas for more foot traffic. I think one of the people outside the VCF museum, I think I asked someone, and I think they mentioned that there was one exhibitor that specifically wanted to be there by the museum, and that's fine. There's usually someone that exhibits a whole bunch of cell phones that I think they have specifically asked to be outside the VCF museum. But I think for other exhibitors that are trying to sell things, they need to be in the main exhibit halls. Oh, Lazy Bite Boy says, I heard you ran into my brother too. He had a Mario backpack. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I had my Mario backpack. That was awesome. So, that would be my one tip. Although it wouldn't, would be take a backpack. Because the one cool thing is you've got exhibitors that are going to be giving like small trinkets away, like stickers and whatnot. If you have a YouTube channel, you can kind of keep a stash of your stickers to hand to people as you talk to them. You can also, so that you don't have to go buy fair priced water, festival priced water. Go to the grocery store or get a refillable water bottle and stick that in your backpack, and then you just kind of have that with you. And then I guess if you buy small things from Consignment, then you can put those in your backpack instead of having to get a plastic bag from someone. Because, I mean, let's face it, for a lot of the computer parts, plastic bags aren't optimal carrying items anyways, because lots of computer parts will rip them, or and they're what I call pro-static bags. So, yeah, and yeah, hardware hacker. That is, yeah. If you'd had a chance to cut your stickers, that would have probably helped. But yeah, that would be a recommendation. And obviously, if you're going to buy a backpack, yeah, look for Mario backpacks. Some of them are really cool. Of course, I might be biased. Yeah, see, yeah, I'm wearing my Mario shirt, although it's just my red polo shirt. Hardware hacker says, also one gripe, the VCF store should sell backpacks. Kind of a missed opportunity on their part. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. Anyways, overall though, I thought it was a great event this year. I was impressed by the variety and the quality of the exhibits. The theme of the show was the dawn of the PC. I definitely felt that there were a lot of good exhibits that fit the theme of the show, but then there were also a lot of exhibits that had some other theme. So I guess to close, I would like to kind of to say that there were a couple exhibits that I thought that were especially my favorite, partly because I had some good interactions. I don't necessarily remember the names of all the exhibits, but one of them was a table that I think I joined Dave's stream while I was at that table. As part of their exhibit, they had a Mac Charlie, which was the PC add-on for the Mac 128 512 Plus. So that was really cool. They had it set up to play the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy Infocom game, so one of the text adventure games. that was great. I had fun trying to play that game, and I tried it 4 times in a row, and every time I didn't make it far in the game, I get hit by a brick, and, well, that's kind of the end of your gameplay. But anyways, that was great. I really enjoyed that table because the other thing they had was one of the, I forget the name of it right offhand, but it was the add-on for an LC computer that basically gave you a extra drive bays. So I think you got an internal, like a internal zip or jazz drive and an internal CD-ROM, and it had a PDS riser. I forget the name of that expansion, but they had one of those. So overall, I thought that was a really neat table because of just some of those obscure, weird Mac accessories. Yeah, I've got some photos of them. I'll have to post photos at some point. I didn't get a chance to get them in a format I can show today. Another exhibit I liked was the Pittsburgh Mac Lab. Scott Barrett, actually, he was across from me last year when I exhibited. He brought his Mac Lab back from Pittsburgh. That's, some of you all might have seen a photo of me playing Hot Dog Stand on a Mac Classic. That was the Pittsburgh Computer Lab. Scott, you always do a great little computer lab setup. And that was also where I bought the candle, which I didn't bring downstairs because it's in a glass jar. But his wife made apple cinnamon pie scented soy candles in like the little glass jars, like mason jars. I think it's a quart-sized mason jar. I put a apple sticker, one of the apple stickers. There's probably a billion of them out in the world. That's the old style one. That's kind of a custom apple candle. Yeah, they smell amazing. Hardware Hacker bought one as well. $10, homemade candle, smells amazing. So he had one left after Hardware Hacker and I bought ours. I don't remember how many he brought with him, but yeah, he had one left when we left. I wouldn't be surprised if the last one also sold. But anyways, Scott always does a great setup. Seems like this year he didn't have any trouble getting to the show, or at least he didn't mention it to me, because last year he had trouble getting there and he was setting up late. But this year, great setup as always. I think he always brings his computer lab, which is like, I want to say it was like 10 Macs of various types, that all what you would have found in a school computer lab. There was a classic, most of them are LCs of various types, the like pizza box ones. So always a great table. I like that one. There was a display that had some MIDI computers. So it had a Atari Stacy, a Yamaha C1 music computer, and an IBM 5155 with a Roland sound canvas on it. That was a nice table. And then, of course, totally normal computing. They always have a great assortment of various projects that Steve and Sean and Mike have worked on. So, yeah, they had the Wii Mac. It was a Nintendo Wii running Mac operating system. They had the Clear SE30, I think it was, and a couple other computers. So, quite honestly, yep, I think I probably pretty much, you could probably tell that the exhibits I enjoyed the most were either some of the Mac ones that had neat Mac projects, or games I remembered playing as a kid, or MIDI. So, yeah. But the thing is, even though those were some of my favorites, they were all great exhibits. And I think I also should, before I wrap the stream, because it is getting late, there's probably one other exhibit I should acknowledge, because it's probably the one that came from the furthest away. But the Home Computer Museum in the Netherlands, they brought a small assortment of Dutch computers and stroopwafels and licorice. Actual authentic stroopwafels and authentic licorice. It might have just been a few computers from the Netherlands, but It's always neat to see what they bring. They had a Commodore that it wasn't any Commodore that was sold in the US, but was, I think, probably one of the ones that was sold there from like SCOM or someone that had bought the Commodore name. Oh yeah, Hardware Hacker says never did get the Stroopwafel. Yeah, they run out quick because they can only bring so many over, because they also have to be able to bring their computers in their luggage. So yeah, the white laptop had such a nice screen. Yeah, so anyways, they had an assortment of Dutch computers, but I could be mistaken. Maybe there's someone that brought computers from further away, but I think they get, at least of the exhibits where I recognize they traveled a fair distance to get there, I think they brought computers from the furthest. And they were the only people that brought Dutch computers, and they had Stroopwafels, so they're getting honorable mention. Pack the waffles inside the computers next time. Yeah. But anyways, so yeah, the Home Computer Museum. If I'm ever in the Netherlands, I am definitely going to have to go stop by the Home Computer Museum, because it seems like it's a neat place. And I'm fairly sure they probably have computers I've never seen, because there are a lot of computers that were out there. So yeah, if I'm ever in that area of the world, I'm going to have to stop by. But anyways, it was great seeing everyone this weekend. I do apologize if I missed you. We all know that if you were there Sunday, the show abruptly ended. So hopefully, if I missed you this time around, I will see you at some other event I'll be at, which I know the next event I'm going to attempt to go to is the System Source swap meet in like 2 weeks. I'm going to go for the swap meet. So, yeah, that's the next event on my calendar. And then I think there's going to be another swap meet in Northern Virginia in July, and I'm going to try to make that one. So, I have no VCF events on no other VCF events are on my calendar at the moment. The Home Computer Museum's most famous computer. Oh, okay. They're talking in the chat. I don't remember. Oh, yeah. Anyways, I think with that, it's getting late. I'm glad you all were here to join me for kind of my debrief on my trip. It was a great trip overall. So, you saw what I got. I didn't buy much, but hopefully the few items I did buy will help with some projects. Yep, Jack says, glad to see you back streaming. Yep, I'm glad to be back streaming. And let's see, I should be streaming Thursday at 9. And assuming I get my workbench cleaned off, we will be finally looking at something Apple II related. And then next week, I think it'll also be Apple II related. And yep, thank you, Hardware Hackers. Glad I'm back as well. So anyways, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know when I go live next. I am trying to find time to build the workbench, Hardware Hacker. It is, obviously this past weekend I didn't have any time. And this weekend I think I got things I got to do. Yeah, yeah, I got to find time to build that. I think that's going to probably be something I will start building once I have a couple of weekends in a row where I am not traveling. Because it's one of those things that I don't want to, like, I would like to have a good portion of the day on Saturday to build it. So, yeah. Take your time. Yep. All right. But yeah, it's on my list of things to do. I just want to work on that when I've got a couple weekends in a row where I can actually build it. So, yeah, it is on my list. Anyways, thank you all for joining me. Thanks for hanging out, being cool in the chat, talking, learning about my experience. So, yeah, Hardware Hacker says my workbench needs serious work too. Yep. And my current workbench needs a serious cleanup. That's not going to happen tonight. Hopefully, I will get that. I guess later today, because it's 12:25 a.m. So, with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And I hope to see you all here next time. And hope to also see you all at some point in real life at some computing event. And with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take care and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.